welcome to the Absolute Football Podcast's Absolutely Lower League, the show dedicated to everything from the EFL Championship, League One, League Two, the National League North and South, and for this week, the Carabao Cup. Don't know if anyone's happy about that, apart from Rebecca. I think she's the only person. But yeah, we have got a lot of football to get through, but obviously I couldn't do it alone, so I brought some pals with me. Anne, how are you and how's your week been?
Yeah, good, very good. Still riding on the crest of a wave that we are mint still. I'm sure it will soon end, probably on Saturday, but yeah, I had a really nice week, had a lovely weekend in Portsmouth with the missus, going to a music festival, which is class. And this week's been lovely, so I'm good. I daren't ask how you are since we've been talking off screen, so I'll leave it for 1 week.
Honestly, I don't know if any of you have seen that episode of Friends where Ross finds out about Rachel and Joey, but my meltdown has just been like that one. So that is it. The only down thing is, though, I'm not doing fajitas in the oven, and I'm not like drinking mojitos. I wish I was. Jen, how are you and how's your week been?
I'm good. My week's been normal, work life, that's about it, but nothing else has much been going on. I would ask again how you are, but again, don't think we need to.
No one's brave enough. Rebecca, how are you and how's your week been? I mean, Carabao Cup, I bet you're happy about that.
We won a game of football! Yes! After my 10-minute rant on Monday. We finally got a win. It is going to feel odd speaking about them on a Thursday though, but yeah, all good. Been a bit hectic this week, getting ready for holiday, but yeah, doing good.
Ben, how are you and how's your week been?
I've had better weeks. Football aside, I've been ill. I've been had sort of massive cold, but the good news today was I finally got my Oasis confirmation through. I've been waiting for that email for 30 hours, so we're in the ballot now. So we're fingers crossed on for tickets tomorrow. Hopefully, good chance of it, but we'll see. But other than that, we're all good. How are you?
There we are.
There we go.
I'm really good, thank you for asking, Ben. At least you asked. Thank you. All these are so rude. I'm joking. And also, we have a special guest who I didn't realise was here.
Oh,
hello, folks.
How are you?
I've been struggling a bit recently, health-wise, but I've only come on to say hello to let you know I'm still actually alive and kicking because I haven't been on for ages. So it's just a quick pop on to say hello to everyone. Hope you're all good, including you, Shah. So I thought I better show my face and tell you I'm still ticking over. Hopefully I'll get sorted out next week when I've got a meeting with a specialist and try and get all this rubbish cleared up and be back to full fitness.
I'm so glad you've come on, Uncle Nick. That's really cheered me up, but I actually feel like crying.
Don't do that.
Obviously, happy tears though, happy tears. We're so glad you're okay though. We've really been missing you.
I know. I've only just popped on to say hello. To be honest, I haven't got the energy to do much. I mean, I didn't go to football last week. I'm not going to football Saturday. I ain't got the energy to drive and sit there and see us get demolished by Notts County on Saturday. Certainly the way they played and the way we played. And I watched the Crew game on the TV. Two of the worst teams you will ever see. We are so bad at the moment. So that's my cheerful bit. But you never know. We might scrape something on Saturday, but I can't see it, to be honest.
Just before you go as well, Uncle Nick, have you got a message for Kieran? Because he's not even on his shown up late yet again. So please send him an abusive message so then we can clip it and send it him.
Yeah, well, he's Mr. Big Time now. I see he's passed some of his exams at uni. So he's obviously getting a bit too big for the podcast. I do see that we're playing them in a couple of weeks' time. So hopefully we can meet up at the county grounds. I'm planning on going to that game. So I'll be in touch with him and we can hopefully meet up and see how bad both of us are. Yeah, I'll give him a slap.
Say that's
All
from
right, thanks.
Charlotte.
Yeah, enjoy your evening. Crack on with the good work because it's as good as ever. So hopefully I'll be back in the flow in a few weeks' time and be able to contribute.
Oh, bye, Uncle Nick.
Bye-bye.
All right, cheers, guys. Take care, all.
Bye.
Just made me
Follow
weep.
that.
That's literally melting my heart. I don't think we can actually follow on from that now. That's the best
No.
thing about this show. Oh,
Oh, that'd be
it
nice
fucking
already.
melts my heart. But honestly, I was filling up. I was
Oh,
like,
bless
Uncle Nick. But of course, it's not just us. We have a lot of people in the chat, and please bear with me because I need to keep up. And we have got Luke. He's put, I'll read everyone. Let's just go straight to the National League if we can. Last time I will be watching from Tenerife. This week, we are actually missing National League out because we've got that much football to cover. All we're going to talk about, we're just going to talk about Conor McBride's goal. That's it. I'm joking, by the way. Aled has put, good evening all. Hope everyone is well. Nerves are starting to settle in for Peterborough away. Oh, I hope you beat them. Won't get into that, though. Won't get into that. I could be here all day otherwise. Chris has put, good evening. Can we avoid National League North this time? Had a shocking bank holiday football weekend. Is it only you, Ant? That's had a good one.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. We only played once, so yeah. I mean, we can just talk about the championship if you want.
Yeah,
More than happy.
Spend all that time just talking about that, and then Rebecca can have her say on Everton.
Yeah, the Carabao Cup. Yeah.
Sean has put, good evening all. Hope you're all doing well. Went to watch my local side who scored more goals in their match than Man United have all season. Ooh. My laptop's not letting me move on. Bear with me. Don't do this to me.
Sorry, Gra.
Don't do this to me. We've got Michael. Evening, everyone. Hope you're okay, Michael. We've got Johnny as well. He's put, hey, all. There's a little bit of chat about who people have got this weekend. We've got Simon as well, who says, evening to all of us. Got as well. Yeah, Luke, sorry, panel. We are just having a nice convo in the live chat. I know, that's why I'm struggling to keep up. I'm blaming you all. We have got Danny who's put evening all. We have Russ as well. Evening. We have Graham. Evening to you as well. We've got a lot of people. Thank you. Got Husky Mad. Good evening, ladies and gents. Luke has put, FA Trophy is better than the Carabao Cup. I wonder why.
Every competition in the world's better than the Carabao Cup.
Yeah. The draw yesterday.
Yeah,
it's
mad, isn't it?
It's annoying. Awful.
Oh, there's a lot of love. I love to see this for our Uncle Nick. We love Uncle Nick. Bless him. What a nice surprise that was.
No, it was.
What a nice surprise. Claire as well. Hi, Claire. Hope you're okay. Yeah, a lot of love for Uncle Nick. And yeah, Luke, what a player and what a goal as well, but I will get onto it later. So, first league we'll start with. I'm sorry, Ben.
At least they'll get over and done with.
Yeah, at least it's out the way first.
Yeah, give it round up, and then it's all uphill from then, isn't it?
Hopefully. It is the Lower League podcast, though, so it's probably not with us lot.
Who knows?
But yes, Saturday's game first. Do you want to start with Maidstone?
Yeah, why not?
It's up to you whether you want to get it all out the way and do Saturday and Monday's game, or you want to talk about Saturday, then we'll talk about the Saturday's results, and then Tuesday.
We'll talk about
Monday,
the Saturday games first. Yeah,
no problem.
Yeah, because they're very different feelings, I think. So yeah, we went to Chippenham on Saturday, 0-0 draw. Probably we had 0-0 written all over it again, as it did last Tuesday against Hampton Richmond. Again, the same. We just never really got going. We were a little bit better. We had a bit more of the ball. Didn't create hardly anything. We had one good chance right at the end. Matt Bentley had a header brilliantly saved by Chippenham's keeper Will Henry from sort of close range. But to be perfectly honest, Chippenham, again, a bit like Hampton, never really looked like scoring. I don't think our keeper, Alexis Andre Jr., had any saves to make whatsoever. It was a bit of a strange one, to be honest. It really wasn't that much to report on because it was just that dull of a game. And it's pleasing that we got another clean sheet under our belts, but at the same time, it was a bit like it's another game gone where we haven't scored from open play. And, it is a little bit worrying, even though at the time, obviously, the game played is only 4 games in. It's a bit of a worry when our strikers aren't even creating chances. A few supporters, obviously, it was a bit of a apprehensive, sort of atmosphere, I think, for the players and maybe for the manager as well after the comments last week. But, supporters seemed to be on George's side. There was a little bit of banter and everything about it, but all in good spirits. But yeah, I'll say 0-0 was a fair point. It's not a bad point because Chippenham are normally quite good at home anyway. So yeah, I think to be fair, on reflection, it's not the worst result in the world. But again, we're looking at that. If you want to be up near the top, challenging for this league title, you've got to be winning these sort of games. And unfortunately, we just didn't quite get at it. So I think the point was the fair result.
Just looking at the chat, it's all about who's top of the league, who's top of the league, who's top of the league. Don't care about top of the league. No. Who cares about being top of the league?
We care about bottom of the league.
Not me. Exactly.
Definitely more towards bottom.
Or mid-table. I feel like we need to kick all the top of the leaguers out, Sazan.
Yeah.
You can't be in our gang.
It makes us feel any better. We won't be after Saturday. So yeah,
this isn't a happy topic.
But yeah, Ben, any other games that stand out to you on this slide?
I think the Welling victory over Farnborough is a big one, to be fair, because Welling, that's a big statement win for them because Farnborough started the season off so well. They were top of the league before the game, I believe. And, I think for them to go and get a fantastic victory like that at home, it's a big statement for them because, they've sort of been in and out. I know what Rod Stringer's trying to do there. A lot of people have a lot to say on him, as a manager. He's not my type of manager, to be honest, but he does build good sides. And, he seems to be doing it again at Welling. They had to come back from behind very early on. I think they were one of them down after about 5 minutes when they got a quick equaliser. And then by half, sort of 23 minutes in, they were 3-1 up. So they sort of were at the races. And that's that's an important one for them. Dorking as well, slipping for the first time this season, big time, I guess. It was always going to be a tough one for them to go down to Torquay. I mean, they only did Truro 2 weeks ago. So that was a big ask for them to go down there. I think Torquay re-energised club with, new manager, new ownership, Neil Warnock now behind the scenes. They've got a lot of things going for them at the moment, even as a part-time side. So to get 1-0 victory for them will certainly give them a massive boost. And, if they're to challenge for promotion this year, I like a lot of the teams in this league. Home form is going to be key, and going to Torquay is a tough place to go. I know we've always got quite a good record there ourselves, but a lot of away teams will find it quite, an intimidating atmosphere. When their supporters do come out, in their numbers, they will get right behind the team. If they manage to build a run now from this, it really wouldn't surprise me. So they're probably my 2 ones, and I think that's a big credit as well. And Bournemouth as well, keeping up the pressure as well. 3-0 victory over Weymouth, pretty routine for them, I think, in the end. Weymouth, I've always said they're going to struggle this year. They still have yet to pick up a point this season, I believe. So, it's going to be a tough old season for them, I think. But, there's a lot. I've just noticed that you have a lot of home wins. I think Cheshire
a lot, yeah.
only decided to get an away win there, which against St Albans have had a pretty poor start. I thought they would be having a few more points in the board, but just shows that this league's very open this year. And, there are some sides, and I said some of the newly promoted sides could cause a problem, and Cheshire getting the victory there's proven of that. So, it's been a very interesting start, on Saturday, obviously, and another game 48 hours later. And, suddenly, it asks a lot more, and that's when you have to use your squad a lot more, isn't it? With, especially the squads in our leagues, where it's not a massive amount of depth. So obviously, just going on to Mondays now, Dorking getting a victory against St Albans, that just keeps them up near the pile and everything like that. I think they, had to come back from behind in that. Big standout result, or 2 probably big standouts. I think Salisbury getting a victory against Boreham Wood, that, that's proven, to be honest, that they can be beaten, because when I have looked at Boreham Wood's squad, I do think they have got a side capable of blitzing this league. And, Salisbury have sort of been under the radar a little bit so far in the first few games. But, what a statement for them to get a win against one of the title favourites. So, massive fair play to them. I think their manager, Ross Jenkins, said they weren't at the races at all. And they said they've got to put it right against, believe it or not, Matchday United on Saturday. So that's one I'm looking forward to. and then the other one, I guess looking at it, Truro City. I mean, what a fantastic start to the season they've had. I had them tipped in my bottom four, and they've gone and beaten.
I did.
Yeah, I know. But do you know what? I think I've underestimated them. I think because, again, I think getting a new stadium can re-energise a whole club. We're getting crowds. I mean, obviously, when we went to play them at Gloucester last year, I think the crowd was only about 150. They had about 1,500 there on Monday against Worthing. And, Worthing are a side that score goals for fun. And I know they've lost a lot of that because, obviously, the players they've lost to York City. But to lose 5-0, against Truro. And when Truro played us, they never really looked like scoring 5 goals. That's the thing. We weren't good enough that day, but they looked like they were going to hurt us on the counter-attack. And, I've seen a couple of their goals, and they're very well-worked goals, actually. So I think everyone's talking about the dark horses, and I would never have had Truro at the moment to be up there. So if they can, maintain that, then there's no reason why they can't go for a playoff push. They've done it in previous seasons when they've been in this league. So, massive credit to them, building what's been an unbelievable start for them. From our point of view, it was a pretty terrible bank holiday weekend because now it's 3 games in a row now without a goal. It's 3 games where I think we've had 1 shot on target in the whole game, and I think the shot was pretty much a pass back to the goalkeeper. It was that weak of a shot. We were poor. We were so poor, and I don't dig out the players or anything like that. I don't like digging at the players, but the players had to take a hard look at themselves after that because against side like Western-super-Mare, which don't get me wrong, I thought they recruited well in the summer, but they were no better than us in the day. And I said to their media team, if you're to beat us, it's today because we're not at it at all. I said at half time, I called it saying you will get a goal in the second half because I just didn't have any confidence in scoring whatsoever. Again, it's a goal that schoolboy defended. It was a short corner which I saw a mile off. I saw it being set up. The players did not look towards the edge of the box. He was setting up for a ball out wide, and it was a cracking cross in. But had their players been left, to get a free hit inside the 6-yard box, sort of roll into the bottom left and bottom right hand corner, it was just embarrassing, to be honest. And I know we're 5 games in, but it is a bit of a worry. The fact that we're 5 games in, we've scored 2 goals, and both of them have come from centre backs, and both of them have come from corners. We haven't scored a goal from open play yet, and that's really worrying. In fact, it's not a case of we're creating loads of chances, we just haven't taken them. We're not creating anything, and it is a big worry because we're just, as Russ said, we're having a Western at the moment. I mean, Western, to be fair, they did the perfect away performance. They've clearly done their homework on us. They nullified us to any strengths that we had, if we had the need, to be honest, going forward. And again, as they did against Hampton, it was boos all around, from basically majority of the fans behind the goal. A lot of the main stadium was basically quiet, but obviously, it wasn't a good reception because a lot of fans are concerned, and I can't blame. And everyone's saying about booing the team at this stage. Says no, I don't quite agree with the booing at this stage because they were only 5 games in. But do you know what? The fans had their right to throw their frustrations because we're meant to be a side that are meant to be tipped to do well this year. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of football to be played, and it could change, but one moment, good ball off the backside, might get our season going. But my concern is that we're not creating chances, and for the talent we've got up front, it is a problem because we've got one of the top goal scorers in this league from last year. We've got a player that was part of a Braintree side that got promotion to the National League. We've got Bruno Andrade, an established player at this level. Didn't get to see too much of him, his abilities on Monday. Sorry, so we're in a bit of a bad place at the moment, and it is. It is a bit of a shame because obviously you want to kickstart your season. You want to get as many points forward. You want to get all the crowds in, and just unfortunately the players just aren't performing at the moment. And hopefully we can kickstart that. And I think, to be fair, having an away game on Saturday against one of the promotion favourites, it could work both ways. I think, to be fair, it might take a bit of the pressure off us because I don't think any of our supporters are expecting there to get anything from there. I think we're all going there expecting to lose, but that might take a bit of the pressure off the players. So they might think, you know what, look, let's go out, play a little bit of freedom, and we'll see what happens. because if we can get a draw there, I'll be quite pleased with that. A 0-0 would suit me going to Boreham Wood because they are a team capable of blitzing any team away. So yeah, it's not been a great bank holiday weekend for the club. You know, a lot of pressure's been put a little bit now, I think, on the gaffer a little bit, mainly from supporters. I don't know. I think from the hierarchy above, they know there's a lot of football to be played. So you know, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So hopefully we can get started on a Saturday. But yeah, it's not been our best week as to be a Maidstone fan, that's for sure. We've had worse though, so that's the thing that keeps the hope going.
Think positive.
Think positive. That's the trouble. Is this club, it's the hope that kills you.
And didn't you adopt one of these teams in National League South? Was it Hornchurch?
Hornchurch should be south, and Needham Market to be north.
Well, give us match reports then. I'm joking.
I didn't even know what the score.
If I put them up, you can make it up.
Let's have a look.
Right, let me go back to him.
I can tell if it's true or false.
So, Slough 2, Hornchurch 1. What did you think of that?
We were robbed. There was 2 offside goals. Slough was an absolute horrible place to live.
Do you know what, I will give a massive amount of credit to Slough. Just to cut you on there, and you know they are top of the league at the moment. No one gave them a hope this year of being anywhere near where they are. They fully deserve to be top of the league. They're scoring a lot of goals, you know, and they could be one of the big problem teams this year. They've got 12 points out of 15 so far. You know, and I've always said I like the manager Scott Davis, and you know that 6-1 win ahead at Enfield last night's clearly given them a massive boost now because they've started to go on a run, and I'm starting to fear now when we come up against them quite soon.
Monday's game as well, Ant. So 0-0 draw against Welling. What did you make of that?
We don't talk about 0-0s on this podcast, Sha.
We already talked about one with Chippenham, so
I know.
0-0's our favourite scoreline now.
I know.
Yeah.
Come on, Anne. What do you think of the manager? Is he good?
Yeah. Brilliant man.
Every time you're on, I'm gonna come to you about Hornchurch and Needham Market. So be prepared for National League North.
I'm never really gonna have to do my homework next week, aren't I?
No, just make it up. It's better.
I'll send you the scores, and don't worry.
Oh, the bromance is showing again.
Well, to be fair though, we're nearly in Capitals. We're one place off Capitals, so I'll take that. We're above Maidstone.
Oh, the bromance is no longer. Look at Ben's face.
That's it. You know, it's football, isn't it? What can you do?
So the National League South table. So we have Slough, who are top of the league with 9 points. Second, we have Torquay. Third, we have, this will be funny because I can never pronounce my H's. Hempstead. There we go. Sounded quite posh then, didn't I? She was like Emil. Emil Hempstead. I know. Fourth, we have Truro City. Then in fifth, we have Boreham Wood. We have Dorking Wanderers in sixth. Eastbourne Borough in seventh. And then in the relegation zone, we have, I always forget this one. Is it Enfield it's pronounced?
Yeah.
Enfield, yes.
Yeah. Enfield Town. I always go to say Anfield, but that's with an A. As you can tell, I'm not the brightest spark. 22nd, we have St Albans, and we have, is it Averley?
Yep.
See, I'm getting it right now. My northern accent is doing me better today. And then we have Weymouth at the bottom, bless them.
Poor Weymouth.
I know, poor Weymouth. I feel like they're getting beat like every week, aren't they?
It's cracking away day out, though.
Before we move on, Russ has put in the chat, Scott Davis scored a banger of a free kick, better than Beckham. Ooh. 12 points, Shah, stealing points off us now. I do apologise if I have made any mistakes in the chat. Honestly, you do not know the trauma I went through.
Please don't correct her this week.
No.
Just 1 week.
Please don't.
Just leave it. For
I've
1
had
week.
laptops crashing. I've had days where I've had to wait for the score lines. I had to wait on penalties for the Carabao Cup. My kids are being arses as well, bless them. Because it's the end of summer holidays. So whatever you do, if I've made a mistake, please don't correct me this week. I'm right at the minute. We have got Up the Stanley and Anfield Town, and then Enfield in North London. Right, let's go to National League. Right, let me get my graphics up. Right, National League North. Does anyone want to come at me with any standout results? I mean,
Leeds and Market got a draw. I know they'd lost all 3 games beforehand, hadn't they? So there's a good draw, rough and running.
what did you think of that game? Was it a good
Brilliant. Radcliffe were lucky. Radcliffe's in Manchester, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like Bury.
Isn't that near you?
Yeah, it's more near Bury.
Yeah, I thought so.
That's where I was born.
Radcliffe. Oh, Bury, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie getting a point of Scunthorpe's good. Then Scunthorpe started really well.
Yeah, they have, top of the league.
Check you, and you can be our new National League North
South
guy.
Shields beating Oxford City. That's a reason why Nick lasted 2.5 minutes before. Oxford City getting beat 4-1 off Shields.
I know, bless him. He's like, no, I can't do this anymore. Bless him. Johnny has put Warrington beating Kidderminster.
Warrington's a strange place.
That's result.
Peterborough was shocking against Buxton. What we have in the chat as well, we do have Chris. He has said, so they did get beat, so he's not happy at the minute. Defensive frailties and poor refereeing decisions saw Spennymoor fall to a 2-1 defeat after giving away 2 silly goals. Ramshaw got us back into the game, and it was game on. Really should. Wait for it. My laptop's doing me dirty again. Really should have had a penalty in the second half. Shocking by the ref. Talking to a few of the Spenny fans after the game, and they said it was a penalty. Ben, is there any standouts for you on this slide?
I think it's already been mentioned, but Warrington's victory over Kidderminster, they've had a pretty good start to the season. That's their first defeat of the season as well. So, that's a massive boost for them because they were bottom 4, I believe, before the start of the game. So, at this early stage, to get a victory over an established side that are tipped to do really well, that's a massive amount of credit to them. And again, I think to be fair, I think the Scunthorpe Chorley game, I think we'd always had probably a draw written all over it because there are two of the bigger sides in that league, and obviously the point was enough. Obviously to help Scunthorpe go near back to the top of the league. That's probably the 2 main ones I would have thought. I think most of them are pretty straightforward. I would have thought. I think Scarborough, getting a victory. I think probably I wouldn't say a relegation 6-pointer maybe at this stage, but it's pretty important over Farsley Celtic. As I said, they'll probably be down there near the bottom. So it's important in these sort of games, even at this early stage of the season, if you can get as many points you can, just get away from those teams that are maybe tipped to do pretty poorly. Then you could be done by Christmas, hopefully, with relegation. So that's probably the big one. And as I already said, I think fair play to Needham Market getting their first point on the board now, because it was not enough to take them off the bottom, but it's a start. It's a step in the right direction. And it's not me taking the mick out of them because of the size of their club, but we always know it's going to be a big jump for them. They were Ishmael North not that long ago, I'm pretty sure. I remember when Matchday we played them and they were Ishmael North like back in the FA Trophy. And the level they've pushed themselves up to is way above their weight. So if they can, obviously their aim will be to survive this year, and they've got to get some a point from somewhere. And Radcliffe's not an easy place to go. With the management team they have over there, good, very much a together squad they have down there. So hopefully that will give them, the boost they need to really push on now and put a little bit of a run together, because that's the thing. If they can start, accumulating just a couple of wins, just chalk a couple off and then that will give their players a hell of a amount of confidence that they can compete at this level and, and better still stay up at this level.
Completely agree. And there's a lot of people talk about Hereford as well in the chat. Obviously a very good win away 4 goals as well, scoring 4 goals away. Southport, I don't think they've had the best of starts, have they?
No,
No.
Southport. No, I don't think so. I think they've sort of been near the bottom. I think they're hovering above relegation at the moment, and yeah, I mean it's not an easy one for Hereford to go to. Southport has always been a difficult place to go. You know, it's quite an. I mean, I never went to the stadium when mates were playing National League and everything like that, but it's a very sort of odd setup, I would say. No disrespect to any of the Southport fans probably down there, but you know, Hereford, like that's the thing that will hopefully give them a bit of a kickstart. That's pushed them back into the playoffs and now, and yeah, that might give them a bit of boost because that's the thing. They've probably underachieved at that level. Obviously, everyone sort of backs them to get back into the National League, and you know, you've got to think at some point when's the shackles going to come off for them, because they really should be up there challenging for the league title. You know, with the history they've got, you know, they've got a lovely old stadium, like with a lot of history behind it. They're a historic club. You know, they should be up near the top. I don't know whether it's maybe a bit like that, because maybe the finances aren't quite there for them to maybe compete as high as they wanted to get back into the National League. But yeah, that's the thing. Hopefully now this might kickstart them, because I would love to see Hereford, really push through and give Scunthorpe a bit of a title chase along with Kidderminster, because that could be one hell of a title race. As much as we talk about the National South with Dorking and Borewood, supposedly us, so they say, that's 3 of the bigger teams, that league with big fan bases. So hopefully that Hereford might just get a little bit of run together now and start pushing on.
Just talking about that game as well, Jen, I'll come to you because you should know him really well. Do you know who Southport's manager is?
Jim Bentley. I have a very, very soft spot for him because of everything he did with Markham. So I do want Southport to do well, and he is very, very good at keeping teams above relegation because he kept us up for years. We didn't go down until 2 years ago, and he left before then. So I do want him to do well, and he's such a nice man as well.
He's a nice guy,
and he's so friendly and he's so nice, and especially with everything that's gone on in Southport. And he was there, and he took flowers to the scene and took the whole team there. So I do want him to do well. He's just a very, very nice man, and I have got a little bit of a soft spot for Southport.
That's why I wanted to come to you, because obviously it didn't do the best at Rochdale, but obviously the circumstances that we were under at the time and off the pitch and stuff. But him as an actual human being and the stuff he helped us with her game too. And he was always like, if you need anything, let me know. And he was so welcoming and stuff. So yeah, I'm exactly the same, even though it didn't go well on the pitch for us.
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't think he really had much time. And I think whoever was going to come in as manager at that time were never going to really do anything with us because of the difficulties. But as a human being, I do love it.
He's so nice, especially he got a fine one time and the fans paid for his fine. We all got together and got a bucket together and paid £1,000 for his fine. And he put a video up afterwards, and he was just shell shocked. And then he started crying. And you don't get managers like that nowadays. And I just think he's a great man. He's a great human being, and deserves a team like Southport that's very family knit, close knit kind of thing. Yeah. So I do want him to do well, and I hope they do survive.
I do too. We've got a fair decent squad as well. I know I mentioned, I think it was last week, Danny Lloyd. Obviously, he was some player in the EFL leagues, especially his time for, I think it was Gillingham. He did pretty well there. Obviously, he came on loan to us as well, but he's a very good player. And a lot of people were quite surprised that he's at Southport, but I think with his injuries and the circumstances, and I think it's closer to home as well. And he obviously knows Jim Bentley quite well from previous, when he's previously played with him and things like that. So yeah, I think that's a very good signing for them. And it's only early on, isn't it? So hopefully they can kickstart it. But it's quite worrying because obviously at the top there, Chorley 4, Southport 1.
It's not going to plan.
Is there any standouts for anyone else? I mean, we were talking about Hereford and Radcliffe before. A 3-3 draw seemed like quite a good game, that. Plenty of goals.
Yeah, Chester and Scarborough as well, 3-2. So plenty of goals going around on Bank of England, wasn't there?
I think the kindness was clearly kicking into the players, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah.
I mean, my probably stand out that bunch. To be fair to, I think Marine deserve a lot of credit. Their first win at this level. Away victory against Buxton, again, a side that you probably expect to be probably maybe down there, but again, they've started quite well, Buxton. So that's an excellent victory for them over the bank holiday. And I think I saw just in Chris's comment about Peterborough Sports to go to Kings Lynn, who will be around the playoff area this year, no doubt about that. That's a big booster for them, because again, a club like Peterborough Sports, their aim will be to try and consolidate again in this league, maybe sort of go for a mid-table finish. But yeah, to get a bit dry on a bank holiday Monday, a difficult venue. They do make it very difficult for teams, Kingsley, and I'm pretty sure it's a very intimidating atmosphere there. When I've seen a lot of reports about teams who've gone there, even back when they were playing in the National League, they do make it a hard atmosphere there, and a lot of teams will come off there thinking that was a tough one today. So yeah, that's probably the big one for them. And I feel a bit sorry for old Uncle Nick and Oxford City at the moment. They've just the move. Yeah, they're a second from bottom at the moment, and that's the thing. I think everyone knew that they would probably go down last season because their resources are so limited to a lot of the clubs in the National League. But I think you always find sometimes that some clubs that drop out the National League tend to drop straight through the National North or South as well, because it is it's a bit of a come down. And I think, to be fair, again, it's probably a little bit similar to what Bishop Stortford had to put up with last year. The fact that they were moved into the North when they probably thought they'd be in the South. Again, Oxford a club that always been sort of, on that margin of they could be in the South, they might be in the North. It's a hard one for them, for their supporters, I bet, because obviously the amount of traffic they have to do. So yeah, they've obviously struggled again to adapt to this level, and there's a long way to go yet. But I'm a bit surprised actually by their start. I would generally thought they would have been around mid-table, because when they've normally been at this level before, they've actually been fairly comfortable. They've never really been in around relegation, so they've normally been sort of mid-table like. So it's a bit of a shock, but again, when you go down, it's hard to get the spirits back up around the club. I mean, unless you get a couple of early wins, it sort of can start to feel like exactly the same again. And suddenly, it feels like Groundhog Day, which I think it's starting to feel a little bit like that for Oxford. So they're going to need a bit of a kick up the backside if they're going to start putting some results together. Otherwise, they could be in massive trouble this year.
And Anne, Needham Market. 2-0 loss. What did you think of that game?
Robbed. Yeah, robbed. Alfreton came with a game plan, executed it perfectly, but Needham should have had a couple of goals at least, and one was offside, the other one was a foul. So there we are. I've just actually checked about the home tops at Needham Market, and they're playing red and white, so it was just born to be, wasn't it? It was just meant to be.
It's the thing as well, actually.
Bought the home top.
But it's funny that you say that, actually, because Hornchurch, they changed their colours recently to blue and white, but they very much, originally used to be red and white stripes as well. Like they've only changed this year because of their, I think it was their anniversary kit or something like that, or going back to a kit back in the early days. So they've always been. I've always known them to be fair as red and white. So you clearly do your homework without even having to look at the teams.
No, both of them were complete and utter flukes. That red and white. To be honest, you can pick us up all you want there, but I'm not going to take the credit for that. I just like both the
names. Just on this as well, I have got it highlighted, Chris. If anyone does send a match report, please bear with me. I will read it out. We've just got loads of football to cover, but I have got it starred and I am going to get to it now. So if anyone does send any reports and think that I haven't got to them yet and I haven't read them out, I've got them highlighted.
Yeah, you're impatient, brother.
I know.
I'm only joking, Chris.
So, Brackley, the game was a disappointing one at the end, with conceding goals at the end of both halves. Dan Rose scored his first goal of the season after coming back from injury, but conceded at the end of the first half in injury time. Second half, Isaac Fletcher scoring Moore's second goal, but Glenn Taylor missed a penalty. He usually doesn't miss many, and he gave the foul, which Brackley got the second, bear with me, goal in injury time. Spenny hit the post, first draw of the season.
Good draw, though. Brackley are flying again, aren't they?
Yeah. That's the thing. I think the disappointment for them will probably more the fact that at home you'd think they might nick the 3 points. I think had it been away, they probably would see that's a really good point. But I think when you let the game slip in any scenario right at the end of both halves, it probably feels like 2 points dropped, to be fair. Unless you're Brackley in that game, they'll probably be thinking that's an excellent point for them, to be honest. So yeah, for spending more, they might be thinking 2 points drop. But again, they've had a fairly steady start to the season. I mean, they're 7 points. I know they maybe didn't have the best bank holiday weekend, but a couple of wins and suddenly they're right back up there amongst the top three. So, I don't think I'd much rather trade our place for yours right now. I'm not going to dispute that at all.
So the National League North table. So top of the table, we have Scunthorpe on 13 points. Kidderminster are second on 12 points. Scarborough are third on 10 points. And then in fourth, we have Curzon Ashton on 10 points. Hereford are fifth on 9 points. Farsley are sixth on 9 points. And Buxton are seventh, and they have 9 points. Then in the relegation zone, in 21st, we have Ratcliffe with 3 points. Rochelle Olympic are 22nd on 3 points. Oxford City, bless him, Uncle Nick. I'm glad he's gone now because I didn't want to see his sad face. Who are 23rd, obviously, on 2 points. And then Anne.
The only way is up.
Exactly. Exactly.
Keep the faith, Needham. Keep the faith.
Yeah, how I need them. Come on.
And better late than never.
Yay, we're here. In.
How are you, Kieran?
Oh, I'm fantastic. We're all good. This season is filled with positivity and good vibes. That's the plan.
Love it. If there's any National League fans, obviously, in the chat, if you do want to send in a match report, please do it now because National League. So, anyone want to say any standout results on the National League before, obviously, I talk about Dale? Even there weren't many to talk about because it was 0-0. Much to talk about.
Just a quick mention, I think, on the Barnet game against Southend. Am I right in thinking, I don't know if this was a joke or not, did Southend have more fans in the ground than Barnet did? I don't know if I've got that completely wrong about it's a joke. So that is true. That is embarrassing. I mean, I know Southend always travel well in numbers anyway, but to have more fans in their ground than Barnet, so they're meant to be up near the top. Oh dear, geez, I'd be hiding away in a dark room for a couple of days if I was a Barnet fan after seeing that attendance go up. But a good victory for them, though. However,
yeah, definitely. This is why me and Aled are friends as well. Pointing out first the Aldershot result. Aldershot for Oldham Athletic won. No, I'm joking. Fair. That is a very good win, though, from Aldershot. They're always capable of getting a result like that, Aldershot. They've got some very good players. But Oldham, they've actually had quite a good start this season. They've added as well today a couple of new players. I think he's from Grimsby. I cannot remember his name. It's Otis. What's his called? It's going to annoy me now. Let me think of it. Bear with me. But anyway, they've added a few more players, the recruitment and everything. So it was one of them, weren't it? Aldershot were obviously the better team on the day. Oldham had a bit of a mare, but doesn't happen often.
Otis Khan?
Yes, that's him. I'm sure it was at Grimsby. I'm sure it was last season it was at Grimsby.
We'll have a look now.
It was definitely there one season, I think. Maybe not.
Yeah,
definitely.
no, he was at Grimsby last season.
Yes, thank God. Yeah, I was thinking, I'm sure he was at Grimsby, but then I was like doubting myself. Chris has said as well. Sorry, Ben.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. I was just going to. I think Wokin's fixture have obviously sort of gone under the radar a little bit, actually, because Woking I tipped to do really badly this year. And I know obviously have been down and they've had a really poor start to the season, which I'm unsurprised by, to be honest. But I think I've always said about Woking is I think they were going to struggle to score goals. But I think I watched a couple of the goals they scored against Fleet, and they were very well worked goals, actually. I think Charlie Kendall got on the score sheet as well, and a player I've always highly rated when he was playing at Eastbourne. And that's a big 6 pointer I found even at this early stage of the season, because there'll be two sides that'll be near the bottom for me. So Woking to get a victory like that away from home as well, and as much as they've had a poor start, going there is not an easy place. So yeah, for them to get 3-0 on a clean sheet, that'll give their supporters a massive morale booster there, because it's been a difficult time for them. But looking at the thing is, though, when you look at the table for them, obviously when we get around to it, they've had a fantastic start to the season. I don't know where they're getting it from, because when we played them pre-season, they were awful. So
we've got them on Saturday at home.
Well, I think keep them out. That's the thing. The trouble is, like I say, I don't know where the goals are coming from, because they just didn't have a goal scorer against us. But I would just make sure that your players pull out of some of the challenges, because as we've always seen, they're a bit of a nasty team to play against. I know managers, it's always been like that. So I would just be aware from a Rochdale perspective on that.
We've already got a lot of injuries at the minute as well, so that's what we don't need. But Aled, really? It was going so well. It was going so well. He said as well he was just amazed to see the scoreline. Ah, damn. So I'm guessing he prefers Oldham to Rochdale then.
Can't like both.
I know I can't back both, Aled. In the chat as well, obviously, we do have Luke. He is our Gateshead fan. So Gateshead 3, Yeovil 1. So was overall not a bad performance from us. You think 3-1? You think not a bad performance? I thought Yeovil in the first half were incredible. We're incredible shape that they dropped off in the second half. Amazing 3 points. We are unbeaten in 4. It's all right for some, eh?
Mm-hmm.
All right for some. Sean has just quickly asked as well, do we need a referee to stand in the middle of Kieran and Rebecca?
I think we're all right. I'm fine. I'm living my best life. I think the bad part about that game, and we'll talk about it later, but poor Seb Quirk scored an own goal.
Don't even.
Russ has put as well, Maidenhead clearly not spending that Kilman money properly.
Yeah, they got a massive PL for that, didn't they? For Kilman for West Ham.
Yeah.
Was it 4 or 8 million?
Spend some money, me and Ned. Spend some money.
Oh, it's nice to see as well. I know obviously it's against Hartlepool, but Wealdstone getting a point because they've been really struggling, haven't they? I think they got a win as well Monday. I'll have a proper look after, but I'm sure they did. So it's good that they're picking up points. Yeah. But yeah, the Rochdale game, I won't speak much about it because obviously it was a 0-0. Very frustrating game because we just couldn't score again. They had their chances too, don't get me wrong. But yeah, it just weren't a very good game, to be honest, and it was probably a fair result. That's all I can say because it weren't very good. I'm not gonna lie, it just weren't very good.
Saturday 3 p.m. in Rochdale. Unfortunately, not very good.
Just not very good, Soz. Soz. For anyone who tuned in and wanted like a full match analysis and match report, I've not got it for you. Just we weren't very good.
That's a really good point at home, though. To be fair, against the Forest Green side, like regardless, it's a very good point.
Yeah, definitely. It was one of them games where, overall, I think, like, we kept a lot of the ball and, like, possession-wise and everything, and I thought we played quite well, but none of us ever looked like really scoring. We had chances, but they weren't very good. It was just one of them games, like you said, it is a very good point because I was going into that game, to be fair, thinking they've recruited quite well, Forest Green. They're obviously one of the teams that a lot of people have backed this season. Like I would take a point, or at that point I was like, even if we get beat 1-0, it wouldn't be that bad. But yeah, we did all right. It just weren't a very good game. And just going forward and our attacking at the minute, like I came on here in pre-season and I was like, oh, it's the best I've seen us like up front in a very long time. We're really exciting. And then the last few games, we just don't look like scoring. It's like I've jinxed
exactly our problem.
Exactly.
Scored a lot of goals. Scored goals in pre-season, but in the league, haven't got a prayer at the moment.
Exactly. I just wanted to highlight this as well, obviously, from Aled. We do have McNicholas on loan, who is a goalkeeper, and he's on loan from Wrexham. And he's pointed out, obviously, great to see 2 clean sheets for Rochdale. But I don't know if it's in the highlights, but very controversial decision. Luke McNicholas actually kicked the ball out straight to one of their players. One of their players headed the ball from quite a long way out. People are saying it crossed the line, but Luke McNicholas luckily got back to scoop it out. The goal didn't get given. So I don't know if it crossed, if it didn't cross. But yeah, that was a very controversial decision, apparently. So we don't have the luxury of VAR, thank God.
No.
thank God the linesman didn't get back in time, but Luke McNicholas did. So yeah, that was a little bit of a howler from him. But just on that game, I'll quickly speak about Dale. We did win 1-0 at Yeovil. It was another one of them frustrating games where we kept a lot of the ball. We're a possession-based team, don't get me wrong. But it's just so frustrating again up front. We've not really got that flaw about us at the minute. I put in our group chat as well. The team really did baffle me. Devante Rodney was dropped. Ian Henderson wasn't playing. Like, I can kind of get if you drop Devante Rodney, then you play Ian Henderson, like for like kind of substitution. But not playing any of them really baffled me, especially when Cairo Mitchell's been struggling and you just play him up top on his own. So that one really baffled me. And again, we just were really frustrating. We never really looked like scoring. And then super sub Conor McBride came on quite late on. And then 90+1, he scores a very good goal. Very frustrating, though, from a Yeovil point of view, because I felt their defence could have done better. They allowed him quite a lot of space and stuff, but you cannot really fault that goal because he was quite far out. And obviously, he decided to go for it. It went in. But yeah, it was a very good win. But again, I don't feel like we really deserved it. But you take it, don't you?
Mm. 3 points is 3 points, doesn't matter how you get them.
Exactly.
1-0 away from home is always the best scoreline.
Mm.
Exactly. I will quickly just go on to Mr. Luke as well. So obviously the Gateshead game. So it was against Oldham and they did draw. A mixed performance from us here. Thought we started decent for the first half, and then the second half, Oldham were just even better and they fully deserved a draw from it. Decent point. Was a very good point, that, to be fair.
Mm.
As I mentioned, Oldham have got quite a good team and Gateshead play some really good stuff. So yeah.
Big game at the weekend as well, and it's first against second. Eastleigh and Gateshead. That'll be one of them 6 points, isn't it? Yeah, come on, Gateshead.
Watch it be a 0-0 now.
Yeah.
Any other standouts for you guys? I mean, that Barnet result. Oh,
yeah, exactly the first one I looked at. I mean,
Maidenhead spent the money.
We was just criticised about the Max Kilman money not going anywhere, but to get a victory over one of the promotion favourites, yeah, fair play. I think it was 2 goals from Reece Smith and Tristan Abrahams as well, scored on score sheet as well. So yeah, that's a big pick me up that for Maidenhead. I know they always be in and around near the relegation zone, but Alan Devonshire always has a way of winning at this level now. He's got used to it for the last 6-7 years. So that's a big confidence booster there for that against Barnet. I think maybe the 2 games in 3 days might have taken it out of Barnet, especially having to work so hard for a victory over an exciting good team like Southend. It might have just come back to haunt them slightly, possibly, but in a sort of localish game for Maidenhead, they'll certainly take the bragging rights on this occasion. I'll say that.
There's probably too many fans there at the home game on the Saturday to get too excited for the away game to Maidenhead.
Yeah, what's it like to see a crowd there?
Just in the chat as well, Chris has mentioned Boston getting 3 points away to York. Ouch, York.
Yeah, that was the one that I looked at. I think that was a bit of a shock.
As well, in the chat, Sean has put Tamworth doing well with 5 former AFC Rushden and Diamonds members involved. And Chris has put Tamworth getting 3 points against Hartlepool. Yeah.
Tamworth are playing all the shot.
Yeah. It was Woking that beat Hartlepool.
Yeah, Hartlepool were definitely playing Woking, yeah. Because I remember looking at that on Monday thinking, because Hartlepool were 2-1 up, thinking, having a decent start of the season, Hartlepool. Then I looked at it again, they'd lost on
Well, I'm pretty sure, weren't they like 2-0 up in 9 minutes and then they had a player sent off and then Woking? So. Yeah, I'm sure they scored 2 quite early on and then they had someone sent off. I can't remember who was sent off. I think it was for 2 yellows, if I remember quite rightly. But Aled's put, would like to see Boston do well. We are one of the reasons why they find themselves in non-league, so hopefully fortunes go well for them. Aldershot again. Chris, oh no, Hartlepool, idiot. You're not an idiot. We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Forest Green obviously beating Altrincham. They've had a bit of a rocky start, Altrincham, but they have lost a couple of players, and Con Clark obviously being one of them. Bet you don't know where he's gone.
Who's that?
I wonder if he's at Rochdale
Con
by any
Clark.
chance.
No.
I wonder if he's at Rochdale.
No. Where does every person I speak about go to?
Peterborough.
Oh,
Yes.
Peterborough. Yeah.
Bloody hell, Kieran, get with the programme.
Close enough. Same thing, really. Different name.
Yeah, Alan knows it. Oh, hopefully I've not mentioned him and he'll score now. Hopefully I've jinxed him. Because Alan said that Wrexham play them, don't they? But yes, the table. So, top of the table, we have Eastleigh on 13 points. Gateshead are second on 11 points. Sutton are third on 9 points. Woking are fourth on 9 points. Barnet are fifth on 9 points. Forest Green Rovers are sixth on 8 points. Rochdale is seventh on 8 points. I don't know if that'll stay because, like I did say, we do have Woking at home. We've not been the best at home. So, who knows? And then in relegation, in 21st, we have Maidenhead United on 4 points. Wealdstone are 22nd on 4 points. Boston are 23rd on 4 points. And then Ebbsfleet United are bottom on 1 point.
Oh.
Oh, poor actually.
The last one on my face. Absolutely delighted. See you next season, Ebbsfleet.
Hopefully not, because hopefully yous will come up. Remember?
No, we aren't going anywhere.
You never know. You never know. Think of Stockport last season and then how they built on.
Because they've got money. We haven't.
It's not all about money. Lucas put capitals. Hope I will be saying who's top of the league after Saturday. Oh, I wish we did. Just for once. Just for once.
Just for 1 week.
Just for 1 week.
I can do that at the beginning because it's alphabetical order.
I know. Oh, look who we've got on his holiday. Bless him. Eastleigh are massive. Sorry, Ben. Love from abroad. He's in a different country, so feel free to say something to him, Ben.
Come on, Luke. Don't let me down on Saturday. Make sure Gateshead get the win.
And now let me get my slides ready because we do have a running order tonight. And I did promise Anne it is a championship. Do you know what, Anne? I will let you start. So Sunderland 1, Burnley 0.
I just want you to go straight to the table, to be honest. Yeah,
I will do it. Let's have a peek. Let's have a peek.
What
do you need to say? Claire said it enough.
I mean, who's top of the championship, everyone? Eh? Honestly, like, I just, we're got to take it a game at a time, obviously, because you know what can happen in this league, and it's mad, especially in the championship where you can lose like 2 or 3 games in a row and be down in 12th. So, but I will say this: like that has completely exceeded any hope I had for the first few games of the season, and you know what? We've deserved it. We beat Cardiff well. We beat Sheffield well. And to be honest, I wasn't at the Burnley game on Saturday because I was away, but I've watched the game back on YouTube and stuff like that, and we fully deserved the 3 points. A clinical goal by Romain Mundell, it was the Jack Clark replacement. Obviously Jack Clark's gone to Ipswich. I want to wish Jack Clark the very best, and I hope he smashes it in the Premier League because he deserves to be there. So fingers crossed that he does do that because, like I say, he's a wonderful, wonderful footballer. But his replacement, Romain Mundell, got the winner. Really, really nice finish. Yeah, I know it's a marathon, not a sprint, Chris, but please, I've had 6 months of being a miserable twat. Please, Jesus wept. But like I say, on Saturday, we could have been 2 or 3-0 up before Mundo's actually scored. You know, Chris Riggs missed a decent chance. Their goalkeepers made a good save as well. And Burnley just, I think the problem is with Burnley, they'd lost a lot of players during the week and have lost players since. And I think they had to leave a couple of them on the bus on the way back. You know what I mean? Because they couldn't play because I think Darrow O'Shea had been linked with the move and he's since gone. So it is difficult for Burnley at the minute, losing all the players and stuff. But you know, you can only beat what's in front of you. And thank you very much, Chris. I forgive you. And we have been really, really good. You know, like what Regis Debree's done since he's come in has been outstanding. And you've got to remember as well, that team that started on Saturday was the same players that were there last season when we couldn't string a pass together. You know, so it hasn't needed, you know, massive surgery for us to all of a sudden turn into a decent side. It's needed a manager who knew what he was doing and a manager that gets the best out of his players. And all he's done is turned us into a team that presses more. You know, the change in the likes of Patrick Roberts, for instance. We all know how good of a footballer Patrick Roberts is.
Yeah.
But last year I thought he's done at this club. He's going to leave and maybe go somewhere else in the Championship or something. He couldn't beat a man, you know what I mean? And now he's waltzing around like prime Messi. He's just being unreal. You know, Chris Rigg, a 16-year-old kid, you know, destroying midfields. You know, Joe Bellingham again, 18-year-old, destroying midfields. It's class. And long may it continue. It may derail against Portsmouth on Saturday, because I think that's a really difficult game. But if I would take a draw there, give me a draw there now, and I would happily take it. And we got to parade our new striker on Saturday, and I can't remember his first name. He's called Ishidor from where does he come from? Somewhere in Russia, one of the Russian teams. But he looks really good. Like the videos I've seen looks quite good. Hopefully we'll get another couple of deals over the line as well. Got a couple of injuries this week, so you know Saturday we will have to change our back line because Argyle is injured, so that gives a chance to somebody else. So, and if that could be the same as that what happened on Saturday with Romain Mundle taking his chance, if you know, I think probably Ballard comes in if he can get his opportunity back in the first team, then there we are. But yeah, it's just a bit surreal at the minute because I was never expecting us to get 3 wins out of 3. And it's the first time since 1924 that we've won our first 3 games. And it's the first time ever in our history that we've won our first 3 games without conceding a goal. And would you like to know what our manager said about that?
Go on.
It is good.
It's good.
That's it. Just leave it at that.
Cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
it's
cool,
cool.
man. He's cool. Good old Reggie. Like. But yeah, mint over the moon. Like I say, shows that league table again. If it's you know what, I've had me moment this season. If we finish
He's
8th, 9th, 10th, we're top of the
Yes.
league. You know what I mean? We're top of the league. There we go.
Podcast full of positivity. This is incredible stuff.
Do you know how people normally say, right? Like, don't look at the table until 10 games in. Never mind that. I've been looking at that all week. And you know what? I'm really, really chuffed as well that Watford are doing well because I've mentioned a couple of times on the podcast, I'm really good mates with a few lads from the Do Not Scratch Your Eyes podcast who like obviously do Watford. And I'm chuffed for them as well as us, you know what I mean? Because I remember a podcast we did last season. I think it was the last game of last season. And it was just a misery pod. They were just miserable. I was miserable. And it was just ridiculous. I think we just started talking about like backgammon or something or other. We weren't talking about anything else but football.
Sounds like this most weeks with us.
And I'm just chuffed for them as well because they're another, you know, side whose fans have been through the ringer, and you know, it's for me another big club who should be in the Premier League. So I'm chuffed for them. I'd rather us be top. Don't get us wrong, but I'm chuffed that they're there as well. So there we are.
Is Tom Cleverley still there?
He certainly is. Started really well, hasn't he? So they
Yeah,
might
he's
actually
back,
get through
yeah.
a season. They might get through a season without sacking him. You never know.
Ooh.
Early days, it's only 3 games.
It's a marathon, not a.
Yeah. All right, we're clipping that one. We're clipping that one now, and it's ready for November when he's sacked.
A question
That's
as well
him.
for you.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
it. Wilson Ishidor, that's his name. Yeah. And like I say, I've seen a couple. I haven't seen him play. You know, I'm not going to be one of these people saying, "Oh, he's going to be mint. He's going to be this," because I've not seen him play. But he looks, you know, he looks a good player from what I've seen on videos. You know what I mean? But I remember when we signed Josie Altidore from Holland, and he looked a great player on videos, and he was shite. So they never know, but fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Yeah, that makes us feel old as well.
And Michael Carrick as well.
Yeah, and Michael Carrick. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Big, like I said, big game Saturday against Portsmouth because they've started really well. I think they've got like 3 draws, but they've been against Luton, Leeds, and Borough. So you would have took 3 draws for Portsmouth at the start of the season against them side, and I think they should have beat Leeds, and by all accounts, they should have beat Borough on Saturday. So it will be a very difficult game. So give me a point now, and I'm over the moon, to be totally honest with you. But yeah, I'm over the moon. So just carry on, giving us lovely thoughts, guys.
Graham with a reality check as well. I don't have to feel old, Sam. I am old.
No, Graham, I bet you know. How old are you? I bet you're not old. Yeah.
Age is just a number anyway.
Exactly.
I don't at my age, as you all know. Jen, I will come to you first. Any standouts for you or any you want to talk about on this slide?
I feel like QPR and Plymouth 1-1. I think Plymouth needed that because they've not really got off to the best start in the Championship. They've obviously got Wayne Rooney as manager, and I do think he's doing well as a manager. I just don't think he has the right team right now to get them up. But I do hope they survive because they're a really good team, and I don't want Wayne Rooney to suffer again. But if they do go down and he does leave Plymouth, I think he needs to fully give up the manager side because it's clearly not working out for him, and maybe he just needs to go into punditry because he was excellent at the Euros. I loved watching him at the Euros, so we'll just have to see what happens to Plymouth. But I think that was a result that the Plymouth fans definitely needed.
They were down to 9 men as well, you know.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, 9 men.
Yeah. So fair play to them, and I agree what you say. I don't think he's started that badly. I think we've got them in a couple of weeks after. I think we've got them straight away after the international break, and we've obviously got a long trip to when we're going Portsmouth on Saturday, and then we're going to go Plymouth in 2 weeks after. So there are 2 really long away games. But no, I think Whittaker. Did you say Whittaker's goal on Saturday?
Yes.
What a goal that is! What a goal! I mean, we'll probably get on to the other great goal in that league, but that's a superb hit. But I think Leeds are after him, and Leeds have obviously got money to spend. And see if they offer silly money and they lose Whittaker, then I think it's curtains for them, to be honest.
Ben, any standouts for you?
I mean, the obvious one for me was the Sunderland one because it was obviously, apart from maybe the 2 derby games, it was probably the biggest game of the weekend. And that's absolutely very credit. I haven't seen Ant smile this much since Takosa came on the karaoke bar. So great to see that. But yeah, I think to be fair, probably for like say, I think I agreed to be over with Jen. Actually, I think on Plymouth. To be fair, I wouldn't have actually spotted that actually, but I think because they've had a pretty poor campaign, or even maybe a poor last year or so as being a Plymouth fan, and I think hopefully now they might just give them a little bit more of a booster. I think because again, I'm a bit like with Ben. I don't want Wayne Rooney to suffer, because he's a guy that's given I'm saying giving me the best memories of being a football because I didn't play United, but I always admired him as a player, and I always love seeing those types of players that I grew up watching to become good managers. And he is one of them, but obviously it's not quite worked out for him so far. So hopefully it might give him a bit of a kickstart. That's the thing. I think once he gets on the run, he'll start to get used to it and he knows what he's doing right. I think he's found a lot of things negatives obviously in his early coaching career, but I think now if he can find just a few positives now and think, okay, right, I am capable of doing it. Because he's still learning. He's still a young coach at the end of the day. Yeah. So once he gets it right, that's the thing. Who knows what he could go on to do? Yeah. It's just getting that right, and that's the thing. And if he can achieve, consolidation with Plymouth, which obviously will be the aim for them, to be fair, then I think that's a massive achievement for him, and it certainly give him a big boost. And who knows, clubs might start coming looking for him. But yeah, I think obviously you can't go without looking at Leeds United winning away at Sheffield Wednesday. Always a tough one in the Yorkshire derby. And again, Leeds have fairly steady start to the season, but obviously for them, their first win of the season, they really needed that. So I think for them to sort of get up and running against your bit of local rivals away from home and a Friday night, that's the ideal start for them. And that bad pro will kick them on now. But in case now, if they can make so many late signings now towards the end of this this transfer window, then who knows what they might go on to do. But it's still very early days yet, so it'd be interesting to see where they go from here.
Completely agree. Sean has mentioned as well, we did talk about Plymouth, but he has put, I don't know if anyone's seen it. What did you think of the second red card for Plymouth?
I haven't seen them, I'm sorry, I haven't really seen them.
Was it a second yellow? I feel like it was a second yellow. I can't remember.
In the chat as well, Graham has put Sheffield Wednesday were very poor again.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about them, to be fair. I wonder if they haven't really give Danny Roll the money or the kind of value what they expect. I haven't got a shirt sponsor, when we played. I forgot to mention this a couple of weeks ago. They didn't even have a shirt sponsor when we played them. They came in all black tops to look like referees. It was probably weird. But I just hope that they stick by Roll because he's a wonderful coach. And I would say he's the only thing that's keeping them up at the minute. So, but they were poor against us. Obviously, I missed last week's podcast where I gave you quite a detailed match report. But even though I thought we were very good, but they were poor, to be fair. I was expecting more from them. And by all accounts on Friday, they were poor again. So, I mean, it's a difficult game. Obviously, Leeds at home. But, I thought Sheffield would be up there, especially after the start. They beat Plymouth easy, didn't they? And then won in the cup. So, yeah, strange times.
You'd like to think they'll stand by him, though, because, he's after what the run they went on last year to keep him up was a miracle, technically.
Yeah, they've got to, haven't they? They've got to stand by him.
That's the thing. It's but how long do they sort of give him? That's the trouble. We always know at clubs, I mean, in particular as well, the higher levels, they're so ruthless on managers. Is it they get to 10 games, they're in the relegation zone to the go, do you know what, we need to change? But I personally think he's earned the right to to really give it at least till Christmas to see if he can get it right there.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, they started the season so well, albeit it was against a poor Plymouth side. They've had, like I say, a couple of tough games now. Playing against Leeds at home is always a difficult one for them anyway, even if it is a derby. So I think he deserves the time. And obviously going to Sunderland, obviously we've had a blistering start themselves. So when they get to play some of the teams in and around them, that'll be probably towards the bottom, then I think that's where he needs to be judged on, not playing the teams that are right near the top, because it's a bit of a hard one for him otherwise.
Rebecca?
For me, it was the Blackburn and Oxford match. I mean, Oxford, it always just seems to be one goal at the moment that just sees them not pick up the points that they do thoroughly deserve. I mean, what an incredible goal. The volley was... That should have just won them the match. I mean, if you could win a match on goals, that wins them the match. I mean...
Should just stop the game there, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
It was an absolute pearler.
Yeah, such... that has to be a top contender for goal of the season. It was incredible. It was just one of them, the heartbreak for Oxford, once that goal goes in, you're like, right. And just said, stop the match now, because you knew that Blackburn could come back from it, because the start of the season that Blackburn have had has shocked me, because before the season I had them struggling, and that was when they hadn't signed players, but it does just seem to be that they are back up and running with it, and they have put some very strong performances together if you avoid the Carabao Cup match. But I mean, it was a positive match for both teams, and it could have gone either way, but it did just tip more towards Blackburn with I think it was Sigurdsson getting the winner for them. But one thing is, Blackburn are now being heavily linked with Todd Cantwell, who I think could be a very interesting signing for them if they can get him to play like Rangers did, because he was a very strong one for them. I feel as though they have got a very good signing in Todd Cantwell. They just need to make sure that they can keep him playing and keep him fit.
Just in the chat as well, if I can find it, bear with me. Dan has asked, how do we all think Oxford will do this season?
Well, I had them to go down, but if they could score goals, I mean, if it was Harris who got the goal, at least I think he scored 3 goals already this season. So, if he can get a few goals, teams around, I mean, no one's going to judge them on, even going to Blackburn and being very, very close to winning. But Blackburn have started the season well. it's the games against your Plymouth, probably your QPRs, who I think will be down there as well. The teams are going to be down there. The other teams that came up, that's where we judge them on, I think. But if Harris can keep on scoring goals like that, I think they'll be absolutely fine. But I think they will struggle, to be honest.
What about everyone else? Do we think they'll stay? Do we think we'll struggle?
No,
I think they will struggle, obviously. They will struggle, but I think, to be fair, they've shown in the first few games that they can compete at this level because they are capable of scoring goals. But the trouble is, this league is so ruthless. They've got some, quality players some that probably could be playing Premier League football. And I think if they could just, tighten up a little bit down at the other end, if they need to start sneaking in some 1-0. But I think for them, it's for where they are probably as a club, they probably need to be more of a case of they need to score 2 or 3 goals to win games. And like I say, if Harris is getting goals for them, even at this early stage, then they've got every chance. But I probably still think they will be down. They will struggle, obviously, this year. But if they can show the spirit that they have done in the first few games, and I would tip them to say they might just do it. But it's still very early days, so we'll see how they get on sort of midway through the season.
Yeah. And if anyone hasn't seen their goal either, on the panel or in the chat, go out of your way to see that goal on Saturday, because it's the best goal I've seen for a long, long time. Absolutely beautiful.
Last but not least as well, Kieran, any standouts for you on here? What people haven't mentioned, or even if people have mentioned?
There's one that hasn't been mentioned, and it's Preston beating Luton
don't
at home. Yeah, I'll be kind to Luton. They've not started off well. I think they've only picked up a point from their first 3. Obviously, convincingly being beaten by Burnley as well. But how they didn't score during this game, I'll never know. I end up watching it like the first half, and then I just watched the highlights of the second half, which was probably the smarter idea because the second half was dull as dishwater. How they didn't manage to score during it, I'll never know. They had something along the lines of, I don't know, like 16, 17 shots, and they were from good positions, but I don't know what's gone on with them. Obviously, since they've come down, it just feels like it's not clicking, especially at the top end, because at the bottom end, they're not actually too bad. They're all right defensively. I think Preston only had something on the lines of 2 shots on target, and of course, one of them ended out in the back of the net, and that was the only thing. The only thing that separated the 2 teams. But it surprised me that they've started off so poorly, because I think they've recruited relatively well to suit the championships. Albeit it's early doors, and they can win 1 game and then be up the top kind of end of the bottom half. But yeah, it's not a fantastic start for them. But credit to Preston, they've not started off too bad.
Makes me sad. You know how much I love Rob Edwards.
He'll be all right. Don't worry. He'll be all right.
Whatever you do, Luton, do not sack him. Do not sack him.
Sean's just put something at the bottom about the Welsh derby. I know Kieran has mentioned it. So I watched a little bit of that. What a terrible game of football that was.
That's why I did mention it, because it was crap.
I mean, that's going to be 2 sides that will struggle this year in Cardiff and Preston. I've got to be honest. Preston, Swansea. I think both of them will struggle.
I thought Swansea were the better side, and I did think they were quite unlucky to not win it. I don't know if you watched Cardiff's goal, but it's so scrappy. It's such an unfortunate one to kind of give away. But no, Swansea have tried to adapt that old way they used to play in the Premier League. The fast-moving, keep hold of the ball kind of thing. It's so slow. It's so crap to watch. But that being said, they played it. Who was it? Preston they played the week back, and they smashed them. So evidently it can work, but they just need to get the ball up the pitch a little bit quicker. The amount of chances that they could have made if they were just a bit quicker on the ball, it was frustrating, and that's why I didn't mention it, because it was crap.
Before, obviously, we do look at the table. There is a few comments in the chat. So, obviously, Johnny is our Sheffield United fan. So, Norwich won, Sheffield United won. He basically said that they couldn't string 2 passes together. Bless him. Bless him on that one. Simon, obviously, our Coventry fan. I was out all day, so I've only seen the goals, and Bristol should have been disallowed for offside.
Probably should have. It was a hell of a hit, though. Another one of these great goals from Bristol City. It was an absolutely smashing hit, but their goalkeeper's meant to dive, and one of the Bristol City players was stood in front of him. So it probably was a foul, so it wasn't offside because it wasn't a player, to be fair. But when you score a goal as good as that, I think probably it should be allowed. But yeah, in the letter of the law, then I agree with Simon. That should have been disallowed, to be fair. But a good point for Coventry away to Bristol. Bristol are a hard team to beat Ashton and get. Really, they've made that a fortress in the last few years. So good point for Coventry.
Graham has mentioned as well, Millwall not winning is always a nice bonus. Don't know if anyone else agrees.
There's one thing actually. There's one thing that I saw about Millwall, and it relates to, of course, Langstaff, that they signed from Notts County. It's Neil Harris at Millwall, and he was talking about how he needed to bring in a striker. So I'm already immediately starting to question if Langstaff's made that move too soon. And whether it's a bit too much of a step, because if they're talking about needing a striker that's more mobile and stuff, if you watched Langstaff last season, he was a definition of what Neil Harris is wanting. But whether he's not being quite able to adapt yet, it's a different question.
In the chat as well, Sam has put, I think this is for you, Ant. Whoever read Ant's match report out last week, I thought was wonderful.
It should be on Jackanory. Absolutely unreal.
Chris said as well, when does the transfer window close? It is actually tomorrow.
Tomorrow night at 11 o'clock.
Deadline day tomorrow.
What a stupid day to have it on, isn't it? I know it's meant to close on the 31st of August and all this stuff, but come on.
Come on, I don't know, for a couple of days.
Friday night.
I want to be doing things. They should have just closed it today. They should have just done that. We've made all our business now. Shut it up. Who cares? Don't need the rest of it.
We are going to read out the championship table. I've got one question for you, Anne. Who is top of the championship?
The lads. Look at that. In orange. Is that orange or yellow? We're calling it yellow. We'll call it. I'm just happy being.
Who cares?
I'm just happy being Capitals now.
I think what the plan should be is that any week now that Sunderland are in the top two, I think they should just be in yellow anyway.
I'll tell you what, if for that at the end of the season, I'll be in tears. You'll see a grown man cry.
So, Sunderland are top of the championship on 9 points. Watford are second on 9 points. In third, we have Blackburn Rovers on 7 points. West Brom are fourth on 7 points. Burnley are fifth, 6 points. Leeds United are sixth on 5 points. And then in the relegation zone, in 22nd, we have Millwall on 1 point. Luton are 23rd on 1 point, and Cardiff City are bottom on 1 point.
Just very, very quickly, because I know we need to move on. Norwich City down there. What a shock that is, because everyone had them to be there or thereabouts this year, and they have been awful so far this season. Really,
it's a similar Blackburn. You wouldn't expect Blackburn to be in third after 3 games.
No, they're there as well. They've done really, really well so far. But Norwich have been.
I like these comments of I hope Cardiff go down, because so do I. I got bloody hate them.
I'm pretty sure in our predictions, didn't Uncle Nick have Norwich to go up as champions?
I think he did,
Because he jinxed it, everyone. Oxford City, Swindon.
Did I put Cardiff go down? I really hope I did.
Thank God he didn't back us.
I think he had Aki to go up as playoff champions as well.
Oh, bless him. League One. Do you know what? I'll come to you first, Kieran. Any standout results in League One for you?
Bloody Stockport are good, aren't they, mind? I gotta be entirely blunt. They are really good at football.
Louis Barry again.
Louis Barry again. He's unreal, mind. The fact that he's playing in League One is bizarre, but I love the fact that he's come back from Stockport after having that injury last season. But no, I watched this game in the pub before the Newport game, and credit to them. I thought Stockport dominated from minute 1 to 90. I feel like 2-0 is quite generous on Bristol Rovers, and I'm saying that with a smile on my face because I don't like them either. But I suppose the other one, I didn't watch the game, but I saw the result at full time, and I got very confused. Cambridge drawing 4-4 with Blackpool. You know, that's just such a stereotypical League One result.
A double Desmond, as Sam says.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Generally, I looked at that result and, you know, Blackpool haven't started off well, but I didn't think conceding 4 to a team that's tipped by quite a few to go down would have been their standard at the start of the season.
Mental, innit?
But,
Rebecca, any standouts for you?
Lincoln beating Mansfield 4-1.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good bounce back for Lincoln with their loss to Barnsley. But I think Mansfield held majority of the possession. I think it was like 70-30. So it's one of them, they just couldn't capitalise, and there were just a couple of silly mistakes that did cost them when it came to Lincoln's goals. It was like, I think quite a few of them came from set pieces for Lincoln. There was like 2 corners that it was just unfortunate where defenders just not jumping high enough and things like that. So it could have been less, but Lincoln did just play when they needed to on the counter and things like that. It was a very good performance from Adam Jackson. He netted 2 and they were 2 quite good headers. And it was just one of them, they just took the lead, and Mansfield, they did get 1 back, but I think it was just like the damage limitation in the end, just to try and make sure that Lincoln didn't fully run off with it, because I think Lincoln could have had quite a few more when you look at the chances that they did miss, and there were some great saves. I do think one of Lincoln's goal went straight in from the corner. So it was, I think, I can't remember who it was. Sean Rowan, I think he's called. His incredible corner just went straight in. No defence, no one could get on the end of it, and his goals like that, you're like, yeah, fair play on that one. But yeah, great win for Lincoln, another good performance, but it was a bit of a tough one for Mansfield. If they could have just capitalised on the amount of possession that they did, they could have got something from it, but was just a few mistakes that cost them.
Just before I move on as well, Aled wanted to mention, before obviously he gives us his report, before I mention about our game, I want to say all the best for Reading with their ownership situation, and hopefully it's resolved. Bless him. Dan has mentioned as well, Reading losing to Wrexham. Ben, what's your standout?
There's a full stop on that. He's fuming.
Maybe he's just got a good punctuation.
My probably standard. I think it's already been mentioned. Cambridge United come back from 4-1 down against Blackpool. I think it was just shy of the hour mark over 4-1 up Blackpool. And I think it was 3 goals in 16 minutes that got them back on level terms. And for Cambridge, we've had a very tough start to the season so far, and scoring goals has been a big problem for them. That's a hell of a comeback, that is. And I always sometimes find if coming back from 4-1 down rather than being 4-1 up is so much, obviously it's a much better feeling, because obviously the confidence that will give their players now, that will hopefully keep them in good stead. Then maybe they can have a little bit of a run now. Obviously it's still going to be tough for Cambridge, but that will certainly give their supporters something to shout about. I think the big standout one for me was probably the big one near the top of the league, with Charlton beating Bolton Wanderers. Charlton, they're on their way back, aren't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah,
and Nathan Jones, the job he's doing there at the moment, I think it's unquestionable that he's, putting them in for real promotion contenders now, because they were in a bad place at the end of last season before he came in. They were going to go into League Two. If he did not come in, they were going into League Two. To get a victory against one of the real big promotion favourites at home, that's an unbelievable sort of sign. It keeps their 100% record as well at the start of the season, along with Stockport and Huddersfield. So I think they're a side I fully tipped to really go for it this year. I think they will be near around the automatic promotion spots, maybe for third or fourth possibly, but they will be definitely be up and around there for me. And I think that's an outstanding result for them, even at this early stage of the season.
Graham's mentioned as well. He's obviously our Charlton fan. He has put tremendous result for us at Bolton versus a Bolton team, sorry Shah, who are usually a bogey side to us. Fully deserved to. They couldn't deal with our high press, and both goals came from that. Don't worry, Graham, I'll let you off this once. He has said as well, Nathan Jones has us playing so well. Our midfield three of Coventry, Doherty and Berry are as good as any midfield in this division. I love Berry.
You've got to think with Charlton as well. They lost Alfie May, who got the majority of their goals last season. He's done a fantastic job. And you can say what you want about Nathan Jones. You know, you can like him, love him. Most people hate him and all this stuff. He has done a hell of a job there. As Ben just mentioned before, they were going to League Two last year. And I don't think, I mean, if you go through how many games he's actually lost to Charlton, I think it's like 1 or 2. You know, he's done a fantastic job, and long may it continue for them. And Charlton are one of them sides, and I keep saying it. They're in the wrong division. I want to see Charlton back where they belong as well, because they've made me cry twice at playoff finals at Wembley. You know what I mean? But I have a soft spot for them, and I really hope that he does that they do well, and he's done a hell of a job, to be fair.
As well, Graham's mentioned before we move on. Last time we won our opening 3 games was the 2011-2012 season when we won the league. Oh, is that a sign? And he's feeling the love thanks to Ant and Ben. Jen, any standouts for you?
I probably would have said the Charlton and Bolton, because if I'm honest, Bolton should be up near the playoffs, but they're like 13th at the minute, and they just don't seem to be getting off to a good start at the moment. And I think it's a shock because everyone expected them to be in the playoffs, and it seems like it's not going very well down Bolton way at the minute.
What a shame. I'm joking.
What a shame, anyway.
What a shame. And any standouts for you?
Just for, I don't know if you guys have seen it, the Wycombe Wanderers social media team need a hell of a lot. Need a pay rise for what they did for that. They had Steve Evans go, well, dominated first half and dominated second half, and then show them both the goals.
Yeah, I saw
it was
that.
Absolutely unreal. And I think
got a lot of time for that.
Yeah, it was just brilliant. It was really, really funny. And to be fair to Steve Evans at Rotherham, he hasn't started very well there. He keeps on. I think he's been banned already, or fined or whatever already. And he didn't take the defeat on Saturday very well at all. I mean, he was like having to go up Matt Bloomfield and all that stuff. And it is what it is, but it is quite hilarious to see that happen. Fair play to Wycombe, but fair play to the social media team. Probably not, if the way they're going, probably not long. Because Rotherham's target this year is to go up. You know, they want to be that. They are that yo-yo side. You know what I mean? But the squad that they've assembled this year, everyone's obviously Birmingham's the one to beat, but Rotherham have got a hell of a squad there. Great side. So they should be doing a hell of a lot better.
Just going back.
No, Jordan Willis is injured. Oh no. Oh, that's so sad. I hope he's okay, because he's ex-Sunderland, and he had to have his knee proper reconstructively made again, because he was on for 2 years with it. So I really hope he's okay. Really do.
Just going back to the chat as well, because I have got a couple of match reports. I've got one from Aled and one from Sean. So Aled, we'll start with him first. In regards to the match, was expecting a closer scoreline, more like a 2-1 win after their away performance at Birmingham, not a 3-0 win. Then he's put one of the best performances I've seen for a while. Our second goal was a well-worked team goal. Why does my laptop keep doing this to me tonight?
Is that what noise it is? Is it you?
Yeah. At full time, it felt so surreal to beat an ex-Prem side so convincingly. Yeah, because I'm clicking it, getting angry. It's doing me dirty tonight, I know. And then Sean has put back. They had to be playing Barnsley, didn't they? Just for me to say it. We were 1-0 down after 26 minutes. Was a bit disappointing, then conceded straight from the second half to be 2-0 down. Then Liam McCarron and Jack Baldwin pulled it back to 2-2.
Yeah, I remember Danny in the chat saying we saw both sides of Danny Baldwin on that game, and you see both sides of Danny Baldwin within 10 minutes every time he's played for Sunderland. So he was either capable of being like Baresi or as if he's never kicked a ball in his life. So he is an entertaining footballer, to be fair, for all the wrong reasons. But I'm glad he scored, to be fair.
Just looking at the League One table as well. So at the top, we do have Stockport County. They are top on 9 points. Huddersfield are second on 9 points. Charlton Athletic are third on 9 points. How does it feel, Graham? You're in capitals and you're third. Bless him. Fourth, we have Wrexham as well, who are on 7 points. Birmingham are fifth on 7 points. Lincoln are sixth on 6 points. And then in 21st, in the relegation zone, we have Rotherham, who have 1 point. We have Blackpool in 22nd on 1 point. Leyton Orient are 23rd on 0 points. And the bottom of League One is Shrewsbury Town on 0 points.
I'm glad I never picked them around
they're winning the league. If you flip the table around, they're winning the league. So there we are.
Do Stockport ever have a bad season?
What's that, sorry, Ben?
Do Stockport ever just have a bad season?
I know.
Win the league.
Are they ever? Hold on.
Win the league again. Top of League One. Honestly, it's actually annoying.
I'll tell you the bizarre thing. I think the entire time that I've known Claire, Stockport have always been top of their respective division. I don't think they've ever been anywhere other than top.
Have you seen that coming from Graham there, right?
She's always happy all the time because they always win. Honestly. I mean, don't get me wrong. What time to be a Stockport fan, though? You think you've been promoted twice in the last 3 years and you're top of League One after 3 games with 3 wins under your belt. And like that's unbelievable.
You're on a really good team as well. It's bizarre.
Claire saying how many injuries they've got still as well. So
yeah.
I was just saying, sorry, Graham's comment there. They're 3-3, still haven't conceded, and they're still not top.
I know.
It just shows how good Stockport have done. So, yeah.
Right, I don't know who wants to go first. Jen, do you want to go first, or should we?
Can someone else go first?
Kieran and Rebecca can go first, but do you know what? Anne, we'll have you as referee.
Oh.
No, do you know what? We'll have
the red corner.
Right, come on, we'll have a proper mix-up now.
Oh, God, I don't like that.
Clean fight here. Clean fight between the two of you.
Yeah.
Hold on, but how can you have the fight about the game when the game's been played? That's my question.
Just more entertaining.
Seb Quirk scored an own goal. That's bound to get Rebecca raging anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I saw that. I thought about
I think the other thing that'll get her raging is that every single time he ran down the terrace, he's got ripped socks. Everyone was taking the piss out of him. They were all saying every time he scores, he gets a new pair of socks.
Do you know the reason why they have? Because I asked this question actually because I was sick of seeing it. Players with like rips and holes in the socks, and it is to stop cramp.
Yeah, it is.
Seb says he has to have it for medical reasons because when he was younger, he had an injury, so he had to have an operation. So that's why he has barely any back of the sock.
I'm going to go talk to all the Newport fans that were giving him shit. We're going to be like, you're taking the piss out of him for having a medical condition. Yeah. I'm fuming.
You feel so bad now.
I didn't. I was trying to give him praise.
You're here. It's all on you.
I don't take all the responsibility for everyone else's behaviour. It's not my.
I'm backing Rebecca on this one.
For fuck's sake! Well, I guess I'll talk about it first. I'll be honest with you, and this is something that I feel quite bad saying. I don't think we deserved to win that game. I really don't think we did. We scored. Well, Seb Quirk kindly gave us a goal 12 minutes in. Really kind of him. I still don't think it should have been classed as an own goal because
Rebecca, slap him.
There we are. No, he's watched the pod. He knows that I give him credit. So he was like, you know what? I know that guy. It's all right, no bother. But I don't think it should have been classed as an own goal. It's been delivered into the box from Anthony Glennon. Shane McLaughlin's hit it on the half volley, and it's going in anyway. And obviously Seb Quirk's tried to get in the way of it and clear it out, but it's kind of just rolled off his leg and very slowly and quite sadly rolled into the back of the net as the keeper just watches it go in. But I prefer when we score first, because we tend to wake up when we concede, or rather, I prefer us conceding first, because when we concede first, we tend to wake up, and when we score first, we tend to sit back. And it's been a reoccurring theme for the past 3 seasons now. But it was exactly the same thing happened ever since we scored in the 12th minute. For the next 25, 30 minutes, Accrington could have scored about 7. The amount of chances they developed during it was unreal. And then it was about five minutes or so before half time. I don't remember what Accrington players hit it, but it looks like he's tried to clear the ball, but it somehow turned out to be the perfect lofted through pass to Sean Whalley, who, credit to him, I thought he had a class game. He's turned Kieran Brennan. He's just kind of smashed it into the roof of the net. Half time, it was 1-1. I was saying that's the worst I've seen us play in a while. After being so pleased watching the Doncaster game a week prior, I really didn't feel confident. But second half starts a little bit more of the same. We're kind of sitting back, allowing Accrington to do just about anything they can but score. Quite fortunate. But I still give the credit that Bobby Cameron is the best footballer to ever grace the planet of all time. He's got the ball on the left side. He usually cuts inside and shoots on his right foot. He tried to do that again. He's taken down by, I believe it was Sean Whalley in the box to give us a pen, and Courtney Baker-Richards tucked it in the bottom right corner. Keepers went the right way, but he's not getting to it. And then the final goal we scored was, I'd like to say, an error from the Accrington player. He's tried to head it back to the keeper, but he's not got enough power on it. And credit to Aaron Wildig. I think that finish was class. He's hit it across goal. Keeper's never getting to it. And I just looked at the stats because I was curious. We had 7 shots to Accrington's 19, 2 shots on target to Accrington's 7, barely any of the ball. Pass completion was a lot lower, yet we've somehow won 3-1. But I in a weird way, it was so bittersweet. I wasn't pleased with the result. We got the win, but I wasn't happy because I wasn't convinced by it. But I suppose we talked about it earlier, didn't we? I suppose it's 3 points, isn't it? So, yay! And we signed 2 players today, so we're going up. And I'm not having it from anyone else now. We're going up League One next year. Easy as you like.
They've signed Lewis Miley's brother, haven't they? Thinking, he might be as good as his young.
Jamie Miley. Maybe they swap. Maybe if they swap over for a little bit, do we see any difference? Yeah, I suppose so. But maybe it's me being picky because we were so good against Doncaster last weekend, and we just weren't very convincing. But 3 points.
You would say, though, if anyone could find the negatives out of a 3-1 victory, it would be.
I know.
I'm about to talk about a loss, and I'm going to sound more positive.
Yeah, because Accrington. This is the thing. Accrington were really good. I thought they were really good on the ball. They were unlucky not to score more. It was about half time, and I don't know who it is, but he's absolutely twatted it from about 25 yards out, and he's at the Tesnick Townsend. Like, Accrington deserved to win that game on everything but the scoreline, but here we are. I'll give praise to Accrington.
Sean has put as well, in the red corner, Kieran from Newport, and in the blue corner, Rebecca from Accrington. So let's see your side.
I think I've lost the third. I think now I've lost all the rounds by point deduction. I feel I've done that now.
Well, I mean, in the words of Kieran, it was a game of football. No, we went into it with an unchanged side from Harrogate, so I did think it would be like if the team we saw in the second half of the Harrogate match came out, then we would be able to put something up against Newport, because we did seem to gel very well at the end of Harrogate, and that was the best I've seen us play for since start of the season. I mean, Seb was sat on the floor and it did ping off his ass. That was the own goal. So to put it, he sat on the floor. I don't know what else he could have done. He just sat there yeah. But we have just signed a left back because Seb is actually a midfielder. With Accrington, he's played centre back, right back and left back. So...
But not midfield. That's smart.
No. So we have signed a left back. So we may be seeing the return of Rebecca Screaming at 85 minutes when Seb comes on for the last 5, because I don't think he's going to play that often anymore. Now we have a left back. But it's been fun while it lasted, and at least he scored just in the wrong net.
That's going to be on Claire's quiz game. Next time she does a quiz game.
I remember this moment right now.
I know.
I mean, we did have our chances, and it was we did play well, and it is annoying to say that the score doesn't reflect what we did. Donald Love, and you'll be happy to know he did get an assist on Sean Morley's goal.
Get in, Donny lad. Come on.
Yeah.
What a
I mean, apart from the penalty that he gave away, which there have been some arguments on whether it was or whether it wasn't.
Probably was.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you. I tried to go into every single penalty call with a neutral decision. Stonewall. It's a penalty.
Yeah. So yeah, apart from the penalty that Sean Morley did give away, he was our standout player. I think he's also 38 and he's still playing for us, which is just incredible because you see the pace he's still got and how good he is on the ball. He is a standout for us, and we keep him fit for a season, and we've got a very good midfield with him. It's just annoying because we did have so many chances. We had Jimmy Knowles, we had Tyler Walton, and these are players that have been performing really well for us, and they did carry on with that. I just feel it is very annoying that the score just didn't reflect it. I think as soon as the penalty went in, we have struggled to get back into matches. We did well against Harrogate, but I feel as though that did take a lot out of us. So we're quite up and down at the moment. We're yet to win a match, and I did think it could have come against Newport, but it's just hopefully we can start taking the chances. And the most important thing for us is we can't lose the first half, and I feel as though we did that better this time. So, because there have been quite a few times that we have gone 2-0 down, 3-0 down in the first half, and we just can't come back from it, and that was one of our big issues last season. It is just one of them where I still feel like we're still trying to find our feet, and I think we're doing the opposite of last season. We started really well and finished quite meh. So this time we've started meh, but we're going to finish really good. So
love that.
Oh, this is the thing, and I'm pleased that we won the game. Of course I am, but we didn't deserve it. We really didn't. And I saw bloody Is that a new? There we are.
Is that getting clipped at the end of the season for the quiz?
Yeah, that one's on the quiz as well. What the?
TMI, Claire. TMI.
Thanks, Claire. I'll be putting that one on my diary. 10:26 p.m. Thursday. Fuck's sake. I don't remember what I was saying. Fuck it. We won. We got Jamie Migley. Now we're winning the league. Shane McLaughlin got robbed of the goal. Bobby Cam was the best player in place.
15 minutes.
We're good. We're winning the league. That is all. We're winning the league.
Jen.
Where do you start? 3 games. No goals. Last 3 games. it's not looking good. And it seems like a lot of fans are feeling the same way as well. It's nothing to do with the players, nothing to do with the manager. They're doing what they can do. It feels like, I haven't been to a game yet because it's clashed with work, but it feels very much like you're not looking forward to going at the minute because you know a loss is probably coming and you know it's probably one of the hardest seasons to be in right now. The ownership, no idea what's going on with that. He's gone silent again. So God knows what's going on with that. There's just no one up front that's scoring for us, and it feels like it's not like bad losses. They're only like 1-0 losses, so it's not like the worst. But it's like, if it's a 1-0 loss, why can't we just get back in it and get a draw? Like, even if it's like, I don't know, like 1-0 or a 1-1 or someone just score, I'm pretty sure the fans would be so happy. But I think Saturday was hard because Jumo did make a mistake, which landed us in them getting the goal. And if he didn't make that mistake, then maybe it would have been a draw. But again, I'm not blaming Jumo. He's incredible. We've got a lot of injuries and we're only like a 23-man squad. Charlie Brown's injured. He was one of our best players last season. One of our up-and-coming academy players, Saul, he's injured. He would have 100% been the squad. And then one of our goalkeepers got injured. So we had to bring up our under-18 goalkeeper who then got injured. So it feels like it's a never-ending cycle of injury and who's been in the squad, have we got enough players in the squad? And obviously it's transfer deadline day tomorrow and we ain't signing anyone because we've got no money. So it's basically landing on the academy players, and we do have an incredible academy. Some unbelievable talented lads in there. And when Alfie did make the team on Saturday, I was so happy for him. He's such like an incredible goalkeeper and he deserved this chance. And then to learn like a couple of days later, he's broken his thumb and he's out for 2 months. Like that could have been his only chance to get in the team. And we only get like 3 years in our academy. And then if you don't get a professional contract, you're gone, which I think is so hard because there's so many talented players. But I think it's difficult as a fan right now to think of the positive. It's nothing to do with the managers or the players. We will stand by them, whatever. It's the ownership needs sorting now. And if it doesn't get sorted, I think we are heading for National League. And it's horrible to say that, but like, if it doesn't get fixed, then we're in serious bother.
Got Newport on Saturday though, Jen.
Yeah.
You know what? That'd be great. I'm at work, so I'm
Here's
listening
the
on the radio.
reality. 1-0, 90th minute shithouse goal. Derek Adams does fist pumps. That's the plan. That's what we're on for.
Now. Yes,
Yeah.
slap him, girls.
Wait a second.
It's that way. Oh.
It's inverted, guys.
And something to cheer you up as well, girls. That's what Claire's put.
Next joke.
Because if that happens, that's an incredible prediction.
That's incredible. That actually is an incredible prediction. Yeah. Love that. Well, I don't love that.
Sean has put in the chat, may as well build a hospital next to the ground, Jen, if you have that many injuries.
Yeah, might as well. It's not going great right now, but hopefully Charlie should be back soon, and then as long as Sol's fit, he'll be straight in the squad. Because again, academy players for us are huge. Like we sold Adam May last season to Millwall, and that was a lot of money for us. So ours is getting the academy up, getting them up there, and then selling them on for money. Which I love all the academy lads. I think they're great, and we just need a bit more money in the club. So if we have to sell academy players, then that's what it has to be.
Something else to cheer you up, Jen. But to be fair, she did say she says it with love.
Wait a sec. Okay, you know, whatever. We move. Love you too, Claire.
Do you know what? This format, I feel like I'm third wheeling your bromance.
Oh,
The Ben and Ant bromance.
Romance.
I'm third wheeling
Used
you.
to hitting each other.
Get in the middle of it. Get in the middle of it. It's all right. Shy, you need to get in the middle of it. You need to get heated at the bottom of that screen.
Oh, what's that?
You need to get in the middle of it. It's getting heated at the bottom of that
No, do you
screen.
know what I'm going to do? There you go.
Hello, Kieran. Oh, no, it's that way.
Oh, do you see what I did to you, Ben?
Hi, Ben.
So, League Two. Do you know what, Anne? I will come to you first. Any standouts on this slide for you?
Yeah, Bradford against Bromley.
Yeah.
Bradford on fire. I did tip them to go up as well. And to be honest, it was down to a few things. I thought they played very, very well against us in pre-season. I know we had kind of a second 11 out, but you've just got to be what's in front of you. And I thought they were absolutely outstanding. Yeah. And just quickly, because I know Deepe's listening, but Deepe mentioned that one of our players she was really, really high about, and it was Romain Mundell who scored for us on Saturday. So Deepe is obviously not but yeah, over the moon for Bradford, and I really hope they get promoted. So yeah, it's them.
Deitch has actually put in the chat as well. I'm buzzing. Look at the table. We will have a quick look in a minute, I promise. Was worried since they were unbeaten, I believe. Richie Smallwood, Andy Cook and Bobby Poynton on the score sheet. Bromley down to 10 after 8 mins on to Grimsby.
Yeah.
Aww.
Andy Cook's from up here as well. He's from Ferry Hill, which is about 10 minutes away from where I live.
Very good player.
Yeah.
Very good player.
Yeah. The only problem is he's a Newcastle fan.
I think this was to us, by the way. Two's company, three's more fun.
Depends what you bring.
Ben, have you got any standouts on here?
I think the probably one that's probably stood out to me first was probably Harrogate's win over Colchester. Harrogate getting their first win of the season, not a bad one to get as well against, a side that obviously they've had a fairly slow start to the season themselves. So that will give Simon Weaver and Harrogate boys a big boost because they've needed that. To be fair, they've had a bit of a slow start. So that's probably the standout. But again, I think to be a Barrow as well, it's been a very good week for Barrow. To be fair, with 4-0 victory over Port Vale, and then winning the Carabao Cup, obviously we will come on to very shortly, and getting drawn against Chelsea away. So it's been a good week to view as Barrowsport after a slow first couple of games of the season. Now they seem to be hitting back to where they were a little bit towards the beginning of last season. So who knows now whether they stayed there.
Got to say with that cup draw, if you are Chelsea there, whatever television revenue you get in, please just give it to Barrow. You know what I mean? You're a multi-billionaire company. Give Barrow every single penny of that television money you're going to get. And even the gate receipts, you know what I mean? Because you can do that. But it's class for them, and it's so cool that they're going to go Chelsea, do what needs to be done, to be fair.
They won't. They'll use it towards an 8-year contract for someone else.
Yeah. They'll probably buy Jason Sancho with that or something completely like needless. You know what I mean?
Claire! She's on smoke tonight, that one.
She's shaved her arms and legs and she's fucking fuming.
Jen, I'll come to you next. Any of that stand out for you?
I was going to say the Barrow and Port Vale one. Again, I have a little bit of a soft spot for Port Vale because you do have our goalkeeper from last season. But I feel like Barrow are very much on the up at the minute. And I feel like they might get promoted this season, but anything's possible. Again, getting Chelsea away, that is an unreal away day for them, especially as we had Spurs in the FA Cup a while ago. And it's probably one of the best away days that you can do. And I think getting somewhere like that is such a great away day for the whole team, everyone, the fans. It's just a great day out. So I really hope they do go and enjoy it, whatever the score is.
Rebecca?
I know that we don't usually talk 0-0s, but Fleetwood and Gillingham. I mean, Gillingham have been flying and scoring for fun recently, so to draw 0-0 with Fleetwood is a bit of a shock for me.
Yeah. I think Fleetwood have actually recruited quite well in this transfer window. I know they've just got, is it Reece Bennett from Manchester United's academy as well? I think they've got him today, but I'm sure there was someone else and I cannot think who they've got.
I know they've got Mackenzie Hunt from Everton. We released him from our academy, so he's gone there.
That might be who it was,
They've apparently had a bid accepted for Jake Young as well.
That was it. Was it.
Apparently they've had a bid accepted for Jake Young, who, if you can get him firing like he was for Swindon last season, unreal player.
Claire, to reality. Stockport had re-spent it last season and it was crap. So if there's any Fleetwood fans listening and want to know, if any Fleetwood fans want to know about your new signing, it's crap.
He's crap, full stop. End of review.
At least it weren't exclamation mark, though. Kieran, I'll come to you as well. Any other standouts? What hasn't been mentioned?
Yeah, the Tranmere result against Walsall. If I'm not mistaken, is that the first goal Tranmere have scored? They've been really, really good at the back, but they've struggled to convert chances, and they almost feel like how Gillingham were at the start of last season. Really good at the back, but struggling to score. That's a good result against a team that are on the back end of a really heavy, convincing win over Swindon's. It's a good result for Tranmere, and I think they can build on that really well. I think Nigel Adkins is a class manager, and if he can get that team, playing the football that he wants, there's no reason why they can't be up towards top 7 come the end of the season.
Yeah. In the chat as well, Sean has put miserable game of the week. MK franchise unfortunately winning.
I chose not to mention that one. Boring.
Alan has put Bradford and Notts getting promoted this season would be awesome. And Chris has mentioned Notts County needed that win.
Definitely.
They did.
Definitely. I think Chris has mentioned as well about AFC Wimbledon because they've got a plum draw as well, haven't they? Home to Newcastle. So come on, yes. Wimbledon.
So quickly, just looking at the table, we have top are Gillingham on 7 points. Bradford are second on 7 points. Barrow are third on 6 points. Walsall are fourth on 6 points. Newport are fifth, on 6 points. Doncaster are 6 on 6 points. Bromley are 7th and they have 6 points. And then in the relegation zone, Crewe are 23rd on 1 point. And then I'm so sorry, Jen, Morecambe are bottom on 0 points. But that will change.
At least we've got less goal difference.
Exactly. Exactly.
Silver linings.
That league's one where can we reverse it so Morecambe are winning and then I've been much happier with that.
Yeah,
I think we'd be like 19th, which is where everyone's put us. So that's fine.
That's not my problem. We're third.
I don't actually know what that banging noise is. Sorry, Claire.
Cheering things.
No. It just reminds me of an episode of Peep Show. What's that banging? It's that banging track.
I have no idea.
It's probably me somewhere.
We won't stay on it for too long because obviously it is getting late now. But this is the first slide of the EFL Cup. It's not the first round, sorry. It's the second round. So just go with it. Any standouts for anyone on this slide?
Stoke beating Borough 5-0.
Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh that much at that, but that is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that is a good one. Barnsley
I think
as well.
Barrow's penalty shootout win against Derby is obviously the big one, isn't it? Probably the shock of the round on that page. So, yeah, terrific one for them. Even though Derby probably made a hell of a lot of changes, I would assume, but great for them to get into the third round.
I don't know what you mean, Ben. Everton won a game of football.
We won! We played all 3 of our new players that, if you were listening on Monday in my 5-minute rant about them, they should have been starting. So we had O'Brien and DA and Lindstrom all start, and DA did score, which was good. But I do have to just say, Doncaster, they did tire, but that first half was incredible from them. They held us to 0-0. They had shots on target. They were forcing saves from Pickford, and they were outrunning our wingers at times. And it was just like they did come to play, and it was a good, entertaining first half from Doncaster. They did tire in the second half, and that is when you started to see Everton get more into the match and start making the chances and get the goals that we did. But just huge first half from Doncaster. It was just, I'm really happy with the Everton win, but I did think Doncaster could have they could have got a goal, but I think Everton were winning it all day, but it was a great performance from Doncaster. But yeah, Everton won a game and I can't be happier.
Any other standouts on this slide?
I would say so.
No. I mean, good win for Fleetwood, to be fair, because Rotherham are a league above.
Yeah.
What did Steve Evans complain about with that one?
Who knows?
Might be bright.
This next slide, any standouts on this one?
Wimbledon beating Ipswich on penalties and
100%.
taking it to 2-2 was huge. Brilliant match.
Yeah. They could beat them at least in normal time. Every other team can do it.
Yeah.
Hey.
I've got to look at Fulham. I watched the Fulham game against Bristol City, and I thought Fulham were excellent. But Jay Stansfield scored, and obviously Jay Stansfield last year was on loan at Birmingham, and he did the, which I can't stand, the non-celebration. So to win the goal like that and then drop the heads as if, but you've done what you paid to do. Just go and celebrate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, that Cardiff game looked good. 3-5 against Southampton. That looked a good one.
If you want to see another good goal, watch Ruben Colwell's goal.
Yes, I've seen that one. That is an absolute
Brilliant.
smacking goal. Yeah, absolutely smashing goal.
I mean, Walsall as well beat Huddersfield 3-2.
Mm.
Well, Huddersfield down to 10 now, or was I dreaming it?
As well, Cardiff 3, Southampton 5. A lot of goals.
Mm.
A lot of goals in that one.
Leighton Orient getting the win over Millwall as well. I don't know if anyone mentioned that one. It's another one where it's...
Yeah, they've drawn Brentford away now. Bastards.
Mm.
And then the final slide. Wickham.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Nothing else needs to be said about that.
Yeah, Wickham, full stop, move on.
Millwall losing again. But yeah, that's it. That is all the football done. It's been all right. We're doing all right sticking to this time, aren't we, to be fair?
Yeah.
We went a little bit over, but we're doing well. Chris has just mentioned as well a couple of results in the chat. Do you know what was really funny about that Real Madrid game? I saw when they rate the players, McBurney got a better rating than Mbappe. So it's like made my life. Someone put it on Twitter before.
Speaking of Mbappe, did you see that his Twitter got hacked? Was it last night? And he was posting about how he was posting about how crap Messi is and everything. It was really funny.
I love it. But of course, that is the end of the football talk. But everybody in the chat or any new listeners, any new viewers, I'll probably want to know where you all are. So, Jen, where can everyone find you?
I am Jen Hunt _ on pretty much anything. You'll probably catch me crying in the corner about Markham last weekend. So have fun. Enjoy.
Rebecca.
You can find me here. _Rebecca _Shaw _. You can find my Her Game 2 things at ASSC Her Game 2. And if you want to catch up on any of the breaking news in F1 and watch me go on for about 5 minutes about Franco Colapinto making it, then you can join me and Jen at Girls in the Grandstand, in which Jen had to edit about half an hour of me talking about a driver.
I love it. I love it. And where can everybody find you apart from top of the league?
I was just about to say that. Top of the table, top of the football brand, top of the EFL pyramid, top. No, I can't do it as good, can I? There we are. It's _Waterson that on Twitter, and at HowWeArePod, which we shall be doing our first podcast of the season on Monday. And if you want to follow, if you want to give us a go on Roker report, I'll be doing the last hour of the transfer window after I finish work tomorrow, so that should be fun. But yeah, give us on any of them. But yeah, hi, top.
Ben, where can everybody find you?
Ben Stones FC1 on Twitter.
Oh, you did it well then.
Yeah.
I did it well.
I like that.
I was sort of shaping
That was
over.
Just did cool.
And yeah,
Good.
you can find me in the corner as well, along with Jen about the football. So I might not be very active at the moment. When we start winning, I might start tweeting more again. But I'm keeping myself.
Kieran, where can everybody find you?
All right. Oh, that was good. That was good. All right. Kieran
That was all
NCAFC on just about everything, and on the Sports Deck UK page on Twitter, X, whatever the bloody hell you call it, doing a transfer deadline day, which I'm sure is going to be filled with loads of fun and all that stuff. I guess, maybe. Who knows?
Who knows? You'll have to watch to find out. And of course, if anybody does want to follow me, I am SharXRAFC. That is on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
It's not real, though, is it, Shah? It's not real.
But I'm not. Apparently, I'm not real. I am
You're
a
not real.
robot.
Yeah, Shah isn't real, guys.
Yeah. I am a robot, and I actually need to hurry up because I'll just run out of battery. I need to go put myself on charge.
No, why do you think the limits have happened? It's not because we waffle for too long.
Exactly. I am a robot. And my Her Game 2 stuff is Rochdale HGT, and that is also on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. But of course, the most important ones, and please, please, please follow them, because I have noticed that on Twitter we are nearly at 3,000 followers, and we are nearly at 1,000 on YouTube. So close. We are so close. So we have Absolute Football Podcast, and on Twitter we are Absolute Ball Pod. On YouTube and Twitch we have Absolute Football Podcast. On TikTok we are Absolute Football Pod. On Instagram and Threads we are Absolute Football Podcast _. On Facebook we have Absolute Football Podcast, and it's not just a lower league show. On Mondays, we have a Premier League and European show. On Wednesdays is our WSL and Women's Championship show. And then, of course, on a Thursday, we are Absolutely Lower League, and we cover the EFL Championship, League One, League Two, National League, and the National League North and South, and just any league. Just
Any league.
we're going into grassroots.
We'll be in
The league next season.
Yeah.
But of course, thank you to each and every person as well on the chat. Oh my God. We've had 12 more subscribers
We've had
tonight.
12 more tonight. That's unreal. We're 49 away.
Wow.
We're on the way.
Oh, that is mega. And as well, as Graham says, Josh always says to us, when you subscribe to the podcast, an angel gets its beautiful wings.
Wow. How lovely.
I can't do it as well as him, though.
Do you know what? When we went to our trip away, when we eventually got let into the good apartment, not the one that I picked. When we eventually got into a good one, Josh let she was like this woman who came with the keys and all that, and Josh said that to her, and I was like, oh my God.
Oh, he's a cringer, and he bless him. But we love you. We love you, Josh, if you're watching. But of course, it's not just us who are obviously here doing the content. It is everybody who watches the show, who listens to it, who interacts with us. It would not be the same without you all. We do really appreciate you. And yeah, have a good weekend. And thank you so much for watching, everyone. Bye.
Come on, Nina.